Many of us attribute a long life to healthy living and good genetics. But after studying centenarians all over the world, our next guest found that cultural and spiritual beliefs play an even bigger role in long-term health and longevity than good genes. Here now to tell us more, Mario Martinez. He is a neuropsychologist and the author of The Mind-Body Code. Good to have you here at TVO. How are you?
Doing well. Pleasure to be here.
Do you know what city you are in?
I'm a little disoriented. I've been in Manila and Nashville, but I'm glad I'm in Toronto.
You're in Toronto. Very good. You got the first answer correct. Well, let's find out just a little bit about you, because you're based in Montevideo, Uruguay, and you're the founder of a theory called biocognitive science. Would you help us understand a little more about what that means?
Yes, I had to actually invent the word because cognition looks at thinking. Biology, of course, looks at our biological processes, and I think that they're inseparable. Biocognition is really biology and cognition inseparably working together. But in addition to that, then there's a culture, the cultural component. So it's mind-body within a cultural context. We can't get away from the culture. So it was a science that brought together areas that were not communicating with each other. Psychoneuroimmunology, PNI, which looks at how thoughts and emotions affect the immune system and other systems. And then anthropology, that looks at cultural beliefs and so forth, but they weren't really sharing their discoveries and the things that they were contributing to the science. So it's really a convergence of these fields.
Let's go through this. How do you think culture influences the body?
Well, we were born to a culture. We have a medical culture, we have a religious culture. For example, people practicing Catholicism here in Toronto are not the same as people practicing it in Brazil. So you're born to a culture. In the United States, the attribution to a migraine is a vascular problem. If you go to UK, it's gastrointestinal. You go to France, and it's hepatic, liver. So the culture really shapes the belief systems, and belief systems then are shaping the biology.
Could you give us an example of how bad cultural habits would have a negative impact on the body?
Okay. We are creating I do quite a bit of work with Fortune 100 companies, teaching executives that they have created an organizational culture that actually creates illnesses. So 75% of successful leaders have gastrointestinal problems. What they do is that the body was made for ritualistically eating. They take their iPhones to lunch, and they take their computers to dinner, and the immune, nervous, and endocrine system don't work that way. When you're eating, everything slows down and it speeds up the appetite, digestion. But if you're thinking of who's going to call you, or if you're concerned about something, then you're speeding up your system and slowing down the digestion. So that kind of on and off eventually turns into what people call gastrointestinal problems. And you treat it with medication, and you're treating the effect, not the cause.
So the better approach would be what?
If you eat without any technology. You don't watch television and eat, because actually the brain doesn't know that it's not happening. Cognition knows, but the brain doesn't know this. So if you're watching a rape, you're going to have cortisol, and you're going to have hormones of stress that are going to come out, and it's not really the best context for digestion.
So the person who invented the TV dinner has done more to ruin our health than anybody.
I think so. I think they've done a major contribution.